Welcome back to my channel. I am back with another Love and Hip Hop Atlanta review, so let's just get right into what happened in this episode. So at the very beginning of this episode, Jock and Kendra end up going out with Kirk and Rashida and 24 and Salma, just so that everybody can have some fun and so that Kirk and Rashida can get out of the house because everybody knows what's been going on with them and their family. And Salma ends up opening up to everybody about how she wants to focus on her marriage, and so she wants to find a new manager because she doesn't want her relationship to be about the music, which she's also had a private conversation with 24 about this too. But while she's saying this to everybody, he ends up shutting her down immediately. Like, he does not want her to get another manager, and I don't know if it's because he wants to be protective over her and he doesn't want another manager to come in and take advantage of Salma, or if it's because he wants to have control over her success. To me, it seems like the latter, because it seems like he wants to have control over how successful she's actually able to be. And if she gets a new manager and she finds success with this new manager, she's not going to really need him anymore. And I feel like that's something that he's afraid of, and that's the reason why he doesn't want to lose his control over her. And I could be wrong, but I'm just going off of the way that these episodes are edited, and from what I was able to see, that's what I'm getting from it. Because he seems less worried about their relationship and more worried about the business. Even though Salma has stated before that 24 has kind of put her career on the back burner and he's been focusing on other things, and so her music hasn't really been going anywhere, and that's the reason why she wants to bring in a new manager. I mean, if 24 is too busy with other things to manage her career, what's wrong with her getting somebody else to do it? So Brittany actually ends up sitting down with Bambi in this episode. She's the one that ended up asking Bambi to meet with her, because when she met up with Shakira a few episodes ago, Shakira blurted out that she feels like Scrappy is obsessed with Bambi and he does things on purpose to get Bambi's attention. And this stuck with Brittany, and that's the reason why she wants to sit with Bambi to see if anything's true about what Shakira said. So she ends up telling Bambi that Shakira said that Scrappy was obsessed with her, and she ends up asking Bambi if there's any truth to that, if Scrappy has been trying to get his family back, and Bambi said that Scrappy does get a little bit inappropriate with his words. She said that he did ask her if she would be interested in getting back together, and then another time she claims that he said that he wanted them to move out of the country with their children, and so he does seem to kind of want to get back with Bambi. I don't know if he's being genuine or if it's only when he has issues in his relationship with Brittany, but if there's any truth to what Bambi is saying, it does seem like Scrappy is interested in getting back together with Bambi, but she reassures Brittany that she would not get back together with Scrappy again because they were together before. She already knows what to expect from him, and if it didn't work out the last time, it won't work out this time. I personally believe Bambi. I think that she's telling the truth. I do think that Scrappy still wants Bambi a little bit. I think that he was really upset at the fact that she decided to divorce him because he thought that she was going to stay and she didn't, and that's his problem. I mean, even on social media, sometimes he is a little bit flirtatious with Bambi in a way, so I do kind of feel like he would get back with Bambi if she was interested. But I'll say this, Bambi did say in her confessional that it was kind of weird that Brittany wasn't really giving any reaction to the things that she was saying, but I personally don't think that it was weird at all. I think that Brittany expected this from Scrappy. I think she knew exactly who Scrappy was when she decided to get into a relationship with him, and so I think the reason why she's not reacting to the things that Bambi is saying is because she's not surprised by it. And I'm actually glad that she's not really giving much of a reaction, because Scrappy doesn't really deserve a reaction. I mean, Brittany's a beautiful woman. She seems to be very mature. She seems to have her head on straight. So if Scrappy wants to mess things up with her, then I don't think that she should give him a reaction. But can we talk about how beautiful both Brittany and Bambi look? Like, these are two beautiful women, and I just want to say that even though Scrappy is messy, he has some good taste in women, because the women that he's with that we've been able to see are very beautiful. So it's the night of Jock's birthday dinner that Kendra put together, and all of his children are going to be there, and all of the mothers of his children are also going to be there, including Gloria, the mother of his youngest child, the one that he had while him and Kendra were on a break. And Kendra was honest in her confessional. She did say that it is a little bit uncomfortable being around Gloria for the first time, because she knows that Gloria ended up getting pregnant by Jock while her and Jock were on a break with each other, and I can understand her being uncomfortable being around Gloria. However, knowing that he was having a baby by this woman, she decided to marry him anyway. So to me, I don't really feel bad for her that much, because she put herself in this situation deciding to go through with marrying him. But every time Kendra would start talking, Gloria was kind of giving Kendra dirty looks all throughout the dinner, and I didn't understand why. Like, what's her issue with Kendra? Because the only reason I would feel that she should have an issue with Kendra is if Kendra was mistreating her child. Other than that, I don't think that there's a reason she should have a problem with Kendra. Any issue that she has should be with Jock. Everyone at the dinner, though, ends up getting up at some point and walking away, leaving Jock, Kendra, and Gloria at the table by themselves to have a conversation, which was extremely awkward. You can tell that Jock definitely felt a little bit uncomfortable by the situation, but Kendra handled this situation pretty maturely, in my opinion. She let Gloria know that she loves her daughter, and I feel like that's something that's important. I feel like the only thing that matters in this whole situation is the child, so I don't feel like there should be any issues. The only way to me that there would be some issues is if this child is being mistreated or not taken care of, and so if that's not the case, then I don't feel like there should be a problem. But Gloria has a problem with Kendra. She said that she doesn't like that Kendra did an interview where she referred to the situation between her and Jock as a drunken night, but Kendra told Gloria that that's what Jock told her, so that's all she was able to go by. I understand both sides of the situation. Kendra was just going by what Jock told her. If Jock told her that it was a drunken night and that's how she ended up pregnant, then that's what she's gonna believe because she doesn't have any communication with Gloria. But I understand where Gloria is coming from too. She doesn't want to be seen as just a drunken one night stand, which is the way that Jock painted her out to Kendra. But it seemed like Gloria had more of an issue with Kendra than she had with Jock, and if Jock is the one going around telling people that you are a drunken one night stand, you should be mad at him, not mad at Kendra. Gloria does end up getting up and walking away. I don't know if she was still upset about the situation. I don't know why she cares that much, to be honest with you. The only reason why you would care is if you still have something going on with Jock. So if that's not the case, I really don't understand why she cares. But again, I can't feel bad for Kendra because she knew exactly who Jock was when she decided to marry him. So in this episode, Kirk, Rashida, Jock, Kendra, 24, Salma, and Carly all end up showing up to support Spice. And at some point during this event, Spice and Carly end up going up to Rashida to check on her. And Rashida starts thanking Spice for being one of the only people that ended up reaching out to her and trying to make sure she was good because of the situation involving her and Kirk's children. And she seemed to be really shady towards Carly because Carly had just recently reached out to her instead of reaching out to her when all of this situation hit the news. But Carly said that the reason why she didn't reach out to Rashida right away is because she didn't know if what the blogs were saying was true. And I feel like there's some truth to what Carly's saying. Maybe she didn't reach out to Rashida because she didn't know if what was being put out was true, or she could have been the way that some people are. When you see that somebody's going through something serious, sometimes you don't want to reach out to them right away because you don't want the person to think that you're being nosy or that you're trying to pry into their business to get information. You don't want people to think that you're not being genuine when you reach out. So sometimes you don't know when's the right time to contact somebody. So even though I understand why Rashida feels some type of way about Carly waiting late to reach out to her, I can understand that there's a human side to why Carly probably waited. And I mean, now Rashida kind of sees where Yandy was coming from last season, because when Rashida found out that, you know, there was a situation between Yandy, Mendici, Jasmine, and some other people, she didn't reach out to Yandy right away to find out if she was okay or what happened either. So, I mean, she's kind of going through a similar situation. Obviously, her situation is way more serious, but it's similar in the sense that she's upset at Carly for the same reason Yandy was upset at her. So Jessica White is pregnant, obviously. Her and her boyfriend Nathan are very excited about this, and she ends up inviting Bambi to come to a dinner with her and Nathan's family, and Nathan's family seems to be very excited about this baby, which is a good thing because everybody should be really excited about a baby coming into the picture. However, when Bambi ends up asking Jessica where she's planning on raising the baby, Jessica says that she wants to raise the baby between New York and Paris because she has to travel to those places for work, and Nathan did not seem to be happy about this at all. So Jessica ends up walking away from the table upset, and Bambi goes up to her to check on her, and Jessica's just saying that she's the one that's pregnant and she still has to have a career, so he needs to accept the fact that she's going to be traveling with the baby from New York to Paris and he's just going to have to deal with it. But I feel like Bambi was right. Jessica is going to have to come up with some type of compromise, and I mean, Nathan went up to her and he seemed to be really upset about her blurting out in front of his family that she was going to be raising this baby between New York and Paris, because that wasn't really the plan. But to me, it doesn't really seem like they planned this at all, because this is a conversation that they should have had before they decided to try to have a baby with each other, because now look at them, she's pregnant and they're arguing about this. I do feel like she needs to compromise, because at the end of the day, he wants to be in his child's life too, and obviously his family is going to want to be around the baby, and he has a career as well. So I do think that there needs to be some type of compromise. But I do agree with Jessica that she does need to work still, and she doesn't want to give up her career, and I don't think that she should have to, but they definitely definitely have to figure something out because there's a lot of issues in this relationship that we were able to see in this episode. Now, at the very end of this episode, Rashida has rehearsals for her upcoming performance, and Spice shows up with Carly because she's getting ready to go on tour and she wants Carly and Rashida to work out their issues. And look, I really do like Spice, but on Love and Hip Hop, it's never a good idea to try to be the mediator for two people that don't like each other. It just never really ends well. And Carly ends up apologizing to Rashida for waiting late to reach out to her, but she still stands on the fact that she didn't reach out because she didn't know if what was being said on the blogs was true. And Rashida gets really pissed off at Carly because she says that even if Carly didn't know if what was being said was true, she still could have reached out when she saw that her children's name were involved. I get why Rashida is upset, but at the end of the day, does she have that close of a relationship with Carly for Carly to reach out to her right away to try to figure out what's going on? Because if Carly would have reached out to Rashida, Rashida probably wouldn't have answered her anyway. And I mean, maybe Carly didn't think that her and Rashida had that kind of relationship. So if Carly would have reached out to Rashida, Rashida probably would have thought that Carly was just trying to be nosy and messy because Carly does have a reputation for being messy. So I'm not trying to make excuses for Carly because I know that Carly is a very messy person and she's not my favorite person on this show either. However, she's human, and sometimes when people are going through something very serious, especially as serious as what's going on with Kirk and Rashida's children at this point, I do understand why Carly would hesitate to reach out because you don't want to intrude and you don't want them thinking that you're reaching out because you're trying to be nosy. And sometimes people don't know when the right time is to reach out to somebody when they're going through something serious. Like sometimes you want to, be careful with people's feelings at that time. You don't know if maybe they don't want to be bothered or maybe they need some time to themselves to just process everything. So that could have been why Carly waited. I mean, I'm not saying I know exactly why Carly waited the way that she did, but I know that people do experience those type of things when they see somebody going through something serious. So Rashida really doesn't want to hear what Carly has to say and she ends up storming off crying. I understand why she was crying, but I don't feel like Kirk and Rashida should have been a part of this season because of everything that's going on surrounding them and their children. I just felt like they should have sat this season out, to be honest with you, because I just feel like what they're going through shouldn't be used as a storyline. And then on top of that, they're not really bringing much to this season. If this whole season between Kirk and Rashida is going to be them being pissed off at people who haven't reached out to them, then they could have sat this one out. But those are my thoughts on this week's episode of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comment section, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video.